So this is day one of me farming in Korea. I've got this piece of land here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around and I'm going to mark out this bed for me. So I've probably shown this before. So what I got here is I got this piece of land here that's got this plum trees, Korean plums on them that they use to make something called meshil. Now I could plant more trees here, or I was thinking of actually just putting in some grow beds between the trees and maximizing the land that I got. And when I'm done here, down there, I'm gonna also put in some grow beds and some rows. Now what I'm doing today is I put in these poles, and then I got some fishing wire that I don't know if you can see it on camera. Can you see it? I got some fishing wire here that I'm spanning between the trees. Fishing wire is probably not the best. This is what I got because it's free, so I'm using it, and free is always the best. And then what I'm doing here is I got on the other side, I don't know if you can see that, get some shade in there. So that's how I can make not super straight rows, but as straight as possible. And then my plan is what I do is then I've got this piece of, I don't know, metal, whatever you call it, and I bent it here roughly about 1 meter and a bit that I am using to, what I do is I just put this down, and then I know where to put my other hole, and I got a nice pathway here that I can use for my wheelbarrow or whatever. I can plant on either sides, and I plan on having the trees in mostly and just farm around the trees. I don't think this bed here is going to be super productive. It's more of just using all the land that I got so it does something, it doesn't just lie barrow. Later on here I'm actually thinking of putting up a chicken coop here maybe and making this like compost, and whatever the chickens can eat, the whatever plums fall down or whatever. So that's my plan for today. And then some other future plans I got all this wood that the previous tenant dumped here from chopping out the forest. Now the reason they did that is there's been a lot of forest fires in Korea, so the people have been encouraged to get rid of the undergrowth just to help so there's less undergrowth, so if a forest fire rips through, it's not as hot. Now they've done that here, and then on the mountain there are a bunch of trees that died from heavy snowfall we had, so they had to get rid of them so those trees don't fall over and rip out the soil. It's going to lead to more erosion. So almost everything they got cut down for a reason. It's not because of, I don't know, being willy-nilly. And then here, this is also a future project. This is probably going to happen in the next week or so. There used to be not quite a house, but like a rest area that was here, but it was really old and moldy and disgusting, so I got rid of it. Well, the previous or the landlord got rid of it, and we're gonna put in like a rest area here with some that's cool in the summer, because summers gets really hot. So farm in the morning, take a break in the summer, and then come back and work out in the evenings. Under this tarp is most of my farming supplies. It's all covered in the tarp, and it's pretty hard to take off the tarp, so I might not show you today. But what I can show you is we've got a ladder under here. Can I open it up? We have a ladder under here and a chair. The reason we put the tarp on like this because it's raining a lot at the moment. Like I think yesterday it rained like 40 millimeters, which is a lot. So the soil is actually kind of wet and muddy. I'll probably show you here. There's some farming supplies. There's a rake, and there's a wash section. And here we got the previous tenant used to spray for pesticide. I'm probably not going to be using that. Maybe just a little bit in the beginning, and there's some wire. There's a whole bunch of useful things down here that we're gonna unpack as soon as I have some more storage space. But for now, this is gonna have to do. I don't want to lift the tarp up any more than that because we're expecting more rain in the next few days, and it's gonna be hectic. Taking a quick lunch break. It's 12:20. And today's lunch, I got lazy, didn't feel like cooking anything, is gonna be, what's this? Apto chokje kimbap. It's a little spicy, but it's pretty good. Alright. Cheers, everyone. Alright, so what we got here, this is a pump for water, for groundwater. Not sure if it's working or not. I hope it's working. I can see the lock was busted, and I can see the hinges at the back. Well, there's the pipe that it feeds to. Someone took out this is a property marker, so someone took that out. I think that's illegal, naughty. I'm not sure where that goes. I'm just gonna leave it where I found it. I don't want to be playing with that and getting myself into trouble. Here's the pump. I can see the hinges has also been broken. I don't know, probably just rusted away. And you see this pipe is connected. This hose pipe is connected to something inside. Let's go to the side and have a look. So, can I lift this up? Oh, it's heavy. Alright, I'm just gonna put you down there for a second. See, lift and lift up. Oh, what do we got here? Okay, got a bunch of insulation. Alright, what we got? Okay, we got some insulation. Stay there for a second. So underneath the insulation, we have a pump and an extension, power extension. There's a tap there. So if I open this tap, oops. If I open this tap, what's gonna happen? Oh. Okay, so that's not working. I think we don't have power. Okay. Let me connect it. What's going on here? Okay, so I think this should be working. I just don't think we got power. So I think the issue is no power. Where does this plug in? I don't even know. Okay, so issue is here. This is the problem, I think. We have to find a power source if you want this pump to run. Alright, so I'm gonna go look around for a power source, and once I find that, I'll give you an update. Alright, let me just put all this insulation back. The reason this is insulated, this area I'm in gets pretty cold in the winter, and it gets oops, that's not good. I'll have to put that back. Alright, let me get that back and then I'll get back to you. It's kind of hard to do everything with the camera in one hand. Alright, good to see you. Back then, I took out a piece of insulation. It's not going to go below freezing for a while, so I'll reinsulate this probably before next winter comes. Alright, then that's pretty much what I got. I got this tub and those hose and those pens, I don't know what you call them, from the last owner. And then down here, there's some work that's gonna have to be done on this piece first before I can farm on this lot. My land ends there where the ridges. That grass there used to be a greenhouse, but that doesn't belong to me. There's a thin narrow strip there by the the release of the road that I can use, but that whole section on that side there, that belongs to someone else, so I'm not going to use that. Now here, the shady spot here, that is land I can use, but it's super shady, pun intended, that I don't really think I can grow anything, because this tree just gives it shade all day, every day, 24/7. And the way the sun goes over, it doesn't really ever, because the sun is, we're in the northern hemisphere, so the sun goes over like this. The sun travels over like this. So it means that spot never ever gets sun. Which is fine, because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put up a greenhouse there, and I'm gonna grow bean sprouts in that greenhouse. Because that doesn't need sun, and it can be super productive land. I've got a trick I'm gonna show you later on what I'm gonna do with bean sprouts. Grow it in a Japanese style. Then here, I need to plant something, government requirement. Not sure what. I can't just grow potatoes. I can't just grow something super easy. I have to grow something that's mildly labor intensive. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna grow yet. I'm starting a little bit later in the season, because I only got access to this property very recently. So I'm kind of late. If you can see, all the neighbors have already planted and they got their rows up. And over there, they're already growing their lettuce. If you look, zoom in, they're already growing the lettuce, and they start off with their summer cabbages, and they got their spring onions and onions all in. So I'm very late to the party. Now, the soil doesn't look super great, but one of the redeeming factors that it is they were going to build something here, but then they changed their mind, so I got access to the property. So this is farmland that's had stuff growing on it for a few years, but it was barren, so it shouldn't be too bad. Not that, because if you look at my neighbor's soil, they have almost zero organic matter in their soil. Now, why I say that is because the previous tenant of this farmland, this is kind of what they were using on about this much land just to get anything to grow. So I'm not a big fan of this kind of a compost and fertilizer. Look, I'm not an organic farmer, but I do believe in having some kind of an ecosystem and biology running through your soil and creating some kind of harmony. I'm not opposed to using some pesticide or doing some tilling. I'll do whatever is needed to grow a crop that I can make some money on. But yeah, that's, in my opinion, a little bit of overkill. But it is what it is, and I'm gonna use this sparingly, but I'm gonna use some of this, because I do think it's gonna need some care and love for me to actually grow anything here and then reasonably make some kind of a profit out of it. All right, I'm gonna get back to it, and thanks you for watching. All right, me again. Be busy. So what I've done is I've added some compost from that pile I showed earlier, and because I got so much compost, what I'm gonna do is I put it on my beds, and then I'm gonna make my pots and then throw the sand over those rows so that I can get some compost in. I'm gonna have weed issues no matter what I do here, but my plan is to add some mulching at the top, and then from there I'll just deal with whatever weeds I get. And even if there's some weeds growing between, I'm not too worried. Let's have a look and see what I've done. So showing you this earlier, I've got this trench I started, but then I hit the rocks. So I want to rethink maybe how I'm going to dig the trench, maybe get some better tools before I continue. While I wait for that, what I've done is I have spread some compost and just played around with the weeds a bit while I was spreading the compost. And then a tree was taken out there by someone, and there too, so I've lost 2 trees, which is sad. It's there's a property line, and then I've got the tree here, and then what I've done here is I've already spread some compost here. I still need to just spread over, and then as I we're walking now. I don't know if you can see the line. I'm going to be digging out this trench here and then depositing the sand on that side. And then to make this bed, I'm going to dig out there, and I'm just going to add something there just to stop the erosion, because I can already see, I don't know if you can focus, if you can see there, oh, stop focusing, there's already erosion taking place on this trench. So I definitely have to put something down there just to stop the worst of the erosion. Probably gonna do some kind of a cover crop or something. I'm not sure exactly yet what to do. Or maybe have to put some sheet down just for temporary. Alright, so that's what I'm busy with. You know, one thing you can't really experience watching this on YouTube or whatever is this compost. It smells freaking terrible, yo. Like, holy crap. I don't think I've smelled all kinds of compost. Chicken, horse, cow. But this compost smells horrendous. I think I'm gonna stink up this entire neighborhood by just putting some compost on these beds. I can't even stand here. The smell is so terrible. It's not the worst smell I've smelled in my life, but as compost goes, it's pretty rough. All right, I'm running out of time. I have to go get to my day job, so I have to start packing up. I made some progress, not much. I'm about slightly over halfway of finishing this row, but I gotta go, so I'm gonna start packing up now. And yeah, that's about it.